Okay, let's now talk about music and copyright. I'm gonna be talking about some of those things and why those two things are very, very related. Because copyright issues mainly coming from the music. That's why I decided to take them all together. So in this lecture, we're gonna be talking about all the music for your YouTube videos and some things about copyright strikes and copyright claims. So let's just get into it. So you have to be very, 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 very careful about the music, because music is the first reason why the many videos are actually getting claimed or even taken down with the copyright strikes. We're going to be talking about copyright claims and copyright strikes shortly in this lecture. So what do you need to do? You need to think about very safe places to get your music from. Usually people are just the very beginners, at least. I'm pretty sure you are not on this level, but the very beginners are just taking some music from their favorite music videos and just putting them into their YouTube videos, and it just gets claimed or taken down immediately because they do not have rights to use this content. You have to have the right to use certain content, and probably the majority of the content, unless the content is your own, or you're using the content under the fair use. You need to have a right to use the content. For the music, there is practically no chance that you can say that the music is used under fair use, unless it's a very, very rare cases that I'm not going to even talk about, because it's so rare that music falls under the fair use that it's not even necessary to talk about this. So just know that you cannot use the music unless you have the right to use those. So here are 3 rules that you need to follow. So first is try to use YouTube's music library. You have an access to YouTube music's library through the YouTube Studio. You can just get there and just choose whatever music you want, download the music and use it. There are actually 2 different types of music, but we're going to talk about this just in a second. Otherwise, it's the free method. This is, of course, absolutely free. You can use whatever music you want in however amount of videos that you want, because this music is cleared by YouTube itself. Then you can use a special services like Epidemic Sound and Pretzel Rocks. I highly suggest you use both of those. These are the services that provide you with the music, with the rights to use them for your YouTube videos, and in many cases for any other platforms as well, unless you are using it for the commercial purposes. For example, unless you are like using this for TV commercials, etc. So this is just for your content. You can fully use music from Epidemic Sound and the Pretzel Rocks. But this is the completely different services, so they have their own services. So I highly suggest you to read about them. Epidemic Sound is a paid service, but it's very, very, very good service, like amazing service. Pretzel Rocks is it's not like Epidemic Sound. Pretzel Rocks is a service. It's basically a music player with a bunch of playlists that it can play musics from. This is better to use in live streams, or for example, if you're just talking and just if you want to have a background music for commentary, that the Pretzel Rocks will do just fine as well. And one thing to do is to absolutely avoid no copyright music channels. You're gonna see so many no copyright music channels on YouTube. So many, promising you that their music is absolutely copyright free and you can just go and use it however videos you want, how many videos you want, etc., etc. Majority of them, absolute majority of them, are absolute liars, and they are giving you rights to use those musics for the music that they have rights to, and then they will just simply start claiming the musics and demonetizing your videos, or if your videos are not monetized, monetizing the videos for themselves. And this is absolutely the worst thing that you could do. Avoid those channels like fire. Avoid them 100%. I've seen a bunch of tutorials on YouTube itself telling that, oh no, copyright musics are safe. There are actually some safe channels, but it has been diluted so much that you cannot just use it, that you cannot trust just anyone. So just completely avoid it. Do not use these services. Now let's now talk about YouTube Music Library. They're absolutely safe to use because YouTube has cleared them themselves, so you have absolute right to use them. You're absolutely safe. There is only one caveat that you need to look into it. It's that you need to try to avoid music with attribution, because some music tracks will have an attribution required, meaning that you need to write in your description that this music is the property of those and those, like music is made by this and this, like artist name, etc. They have everything in them. It's not that it's bad to use such music, it's that sometimes you might forget to attribute music, and it might be a bit problematic in some cases. So just try to avoid this. It's not a bad thing if you will do this, and if you will remember to attribute all the music and all the songs that you use in your description, it's absolutely okay. But just why would you add work to yourself when you can't have a less work with the same results? So just try to avoid songs with attribution as much as you can. This is YouTube's Music Library is the safest, meaning the safest for your monetization and anti-claim and anti-strike, safest place to use your music. The second safest place is paid music services like Epidemic Sound, Pretzel Rocks. Pretzel Rocks is not paid actually, or it is actually paid, to be fair. It has a paid and free options. If you are using free, it's mainly made for live streaming, so it's like different payment and different monetization models. So just know that you can use it if you want, but and Epidemic Sound as well. But sometimes, just sometimes, those songs are still getting claimed, many times wrongfully, many times by mistake. So you can just dispute this if you want. It's not a problem. But in many cases, then it's just a mistake that it goes through, because all the claiming of the songs is done through the YouTube automatic service, and sometimes it might get by mistake. So you have to be very vigilant about this. It sometimes will happen. For example, for me with the Pretzel Rocks, two times my video got claimed, and both of the times when I disputed, both of the times all the claims got taken away. And to be fair, the claims were for the melody. Yes, you can get claimed with the melody as well, not just with the song, but the melody. And it turns out that it was a mistake, and just both of disputes were turned back. But it will happen. And if you want to know how to dispute, you're gonna know. It's very, very easy thing to understand when you will get a copyright claim. And of course, avoid the rest. Only use the paid services or the YouTube service itself, and avoid everything else, like every single thing else. There are a bunch of paid services as well. You need to just research the stuff. I highly suggest you to go with an Epidemic Sound if you want like one-stop shop for everything. Epidemic Sound has everything that you need for the music and for the sound effects. Just go with an Epidemic Sound if you want just one safe place for everything. And avoid all the no copyright music channels on YouTube. Like absolutely avoid them. As soon as your channel will start growing, your comment section is going to get bombarded by a bunch of different channels saying that, oh, they love your videos, etc., etc. Oh, the music and stuff, etc. Is you want a music, just use my music, etc., etc. They are trying to bait you to use their music, and when you use your music and will upload the video, or maybe you're gonna lose your source file or something like that, they're gonna just claim it, or not right away maybe, but a few months down the line, and then you're basically done. You cannot do anything with this other than taking down the video and re-uploading without the music, which will not be the best choice to do. Just avoid them. Use either YouTube Library for the music or Epidemic Sound. I would say do not go with the Pretzel Rocks unless you are live streaming. Now, as for the copyright claims and copyright strikes, these are two very, 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 very different things. So copyright claims are actually pretty safe for your channel. They do not affect your channel at all, and you may get probably thousands of copyright claims depending on how you use your music. For example, I streamed one time the game with the Star Wars music. because it has like it was modification with the Star Wars music. And for the 5-hour live stream, I got around, I think it was like somewhere around 50 to 100 copyright claims for the one video. And it did not affect my channel at all, like at all, because copyright claims are absolutely safe. So when you get a copyright claim, you get an email that you got a copyright claim, and they will say that this is absolutely safe. You have nothing to worry about. You can get any number of copyright claims, literally any numbers. You can get thousands of copyright claims. Don't try to get thousands of copyright claims, because this might be problematic for you in the future. But still, you can, and claim videos will lose the monetization. Mean that if you are monetizing the videos, all the monetization, it will lose. I wrote it wrongfully. It will not lose monetization, but it will lose monetization for you. It means that this entire video will be monetized by the person who claimed the video, or by the company, whoever it is. Is it fair? Absolutely not, because if you use just 5 seconds of difference of song of other individual, even if you get a 5-hour video, entire 5-hour monetization things, money will go to those individual who owns only 5 seconds of it. So just be ready that copyright claims will happen, and your video will start getting monetized even if your channel is not monetized, if someone will claim it. So just know that. As for copyright strike, this is the problem. Copyright strike is very dangerous, because you can get only 3 of it. And if you get 3 copyright strikes, you are getting banned. Your entire channel will be deleted, and there is nothing you can do about it. It's dangerous because you will get a warning after the first, and the video will be taken down, the one that got a strike. You'll get entire channel demonetized after the second, and you'll get banned after the third. Each and every strike, I think it has 6-month period, so after 6 months they will disappear. But I highly suggest you to not get any strikes ever. Ever. Do not get any strikes ever. And I highly suggest you to always dispute copyright strikes. When you get a copyright strike, you will have a dispute button right there, and you can just go and dispute it, telling why it's the problem, why it's wrongful, or why you had the right to use different songs or whatever the thing that you use that got striked. Actually, you can get strike for the things other than the songs, because you might be thinking that you're using it in a fair use, but then actually it's not a fair use. Because fair use is the thing that allows you to use transformative work, not just re-upload and with no difference. Fair use means that you can use some kind of work, some kind of copyrighted material, if you are transforming it, meaning that if you are putting your own commentary, if you are modifying it in some way, meaning that you are transforming it into something different. But it's a very, very, very gray area legally. As a lawyer myself, I can tell that it is a very gray area, meaning that whomever is taking a look at this, and who, depending on who the side is, the situation will be completely different each and every individual time. So I would not rely on fair use absolutely in no way, shape, or form. Just avoid using fair use unless it's the commentary, because commentary usually is just the best case scenario for the fair use. If you're just having some things and using commentary, for example, if you're using parts of the movie, for example, and just very, very small chunks and giving a commentary on this music, then you can say that it's a fair use. And like many copyright holders will tell that it's fair use. But some will say that no, it's not a fair use. You are not allowed to use any of my footage, and they will still issue a copyright strike or copyright claim. So you are dependent on who is doing this. So you have to do a research beforehand on those individuals who has the rights, or whether they're issuing copyright strikes or claims or not. It is very difficult to know in advance. I cannot help you with that. That was saying that, oh, you know what, Sony is dangerous, or Nintendo isn't safe, or EA games are very safe, or for example, Bethesda's games are dangerous. I cannot tell you about this because it changes constantly. The thing that is safe now may not be safe in 2 months or in 2 years, and your videos are on YouTube forever. So you need to figure all this out by yourself and just be very careful by using the material that is not yours, or you do not have an explicit permission to use those material. So be very, 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 very careful. So this will be it for today. Let's go to the next one.